Hi, I'm Nicola Mackenzie, founder of Dun & McCarthy Mortgages, and in today's video I will be explaining the complicated process that is buying a property. So stay tuned. Now, the first thing that I'll mention is that house buying is a complicated process, and whilst this video aims to give you a step-by-step breakdown of what's involved, it is a generic explanation. So ultimately, when you're buying a property, it should be done with the help of a professional because mistakes can be costly. Now, it's also worth mentioning that buying your property from the point that you find it to moving into the property is going to take time. The national average timescale in England is 15 weeks, and obviously that can be longer or shorter depending on many factors. Now, it's also worth mentioning that we here are a team of fully qualified mortgage advisors and insurance specialists. So head over to our website, which is dm.mortgage, and book an appointment today where we can let you know how we can help you. And also there is a section for events where you can book on to one of our free first-time buyer courses. Step one in the house buying process is, of course, to save a deposit. So the bare minimum that you'll need is 5% of the purchase price, but you may need more depending on many factors, unless you're using a guarantor, and you might be able to get away without a deposit. But assuming that that's not the case, depending on the type of property, your personal circumstances, your intended usage of the property, you may in many cases need more than 5%. So check out my video titled "How much deposit do I need?" if you want to know more on this. But step two is to get mortgage advice. It is crucial that this step comes next. It needs to come really soon in the process because affordability, you need to know how much you can afford to borrow. And that should be done with the help of a professional because it's not just as straightforward as multiplying your salary by 4. The amount that you can borrow will depend on, again, your personal circumstances. How many kids do you have? How much do you have outstanding debts? What's your visa status? Who the lender is? All of these factors can impact on how much you can afford to borrow. And as well, with an affordability assessment, that will help you to know exactly how much deposit you need. And it's important that this step comes early because any problems that you've got in your circumstances that you might need to iron out, you've got time to do it between now and when you find a property. The last thing you want is your purchase delayed because you didn't know that there was something in your circumstances that might create a potential issue later down the line. And as well, the last thing you want to do is make an offer on a property that gets accepted to later find out that you cannot afford that property because the banks will not lend what you need. Step 3 is to get a mortgage agreement in principle. Now, again, crucial that you do not skip this step, really, because as a mortgage advisor, yes, I give advice, but ultimately it's not me or any other mortgage advisor that's lending you the money. So it's important that you get a bank to agree in principle that you can get a mortgage, and if so, how much they would be willing to lend. Now, an agreement in principle, whilst it's no guarantee that a mortgage application will be successful, but it's giving you surety at this early stage that you can even get a mortgage. And as well, more importantly, estate agents will ask for an agreement in principle if you go and view a property and you're considering making an offer. And if you don't have one, but the next potential buyer does, then the chances are they will take that person's offer more seriously than yours. So an agreement in principle is, again, just going to demonstrate that you are a serious buyer. Step 4 is to start house hunting. So one of the more exciting steps, of course. Now, make sure that you keep your search within budget. Don't get too carried away and go over budget. Make sure that you've got all of your notifications set up on the popular property websites like Zoopla and Rightmove so that you are the first to know when properties get uploaded. And make sure that you register with local estate agents. Show them that you're proceedable with your agreement in principle if you need to, because obviously they know about properties even before they go onto the property websites. So again, if they know that you're a serious buyer, then they might keep you in mind and let you know when properties first come to market. Step 5 is to make an offer on the property when you see the property that you love. Now, make sure that if your agreement in principle has expired before you make any offers, that you get that refreshed. So contact your advisor, make sure that it's up to date. And offers are usually made directly through the estate agent. Again, you will need to usually show them things like identification, proof of your deposit, and an up-to-date agreement in principle so that they agree to actually take the property off the market. Step 6 is to instruct a solicitor. Now, your mortgage lender and your estate agent will need to know who your solicitor is, hence why you will need to know at this stage. Now, your estate agent probably will make a recommendation for solicitors, but remember your estate agent's working on behalf of the vendor or the seller of the property, so it may not always be impartial, but I would always say choose a solicitor based on recommendation. So if you're broker knows good solicitors, or if you know somebody that's recently dealt with a certain company, then take recommendations, because a bad solicitor can delay things and that can mean that your purchase falls through. So it's crucial that you get a good one. Also as well, worth making sure that you speak to your solicitor and talk about when they are going to commence any paid work. Depending on how quickly you need to complete, then it might be advisable to wait until you've had your mortgage approved before you start paying for solicitors, because there are any number of things that may mean that your mortgage application does not get approved. So it's worth holding fire on this step until your mortgage is approved, and then you can start the process. But ultimately, knowing who the solicitor is at this point, you will need to for your estate agent and your mortgage application. Step 7 is to submit a mortgage application. Now, by submitting your mortgage application, this will secure your interest rate, and it will mean that the lender will now assess you in full. So they'll be looking at your pay slips, your bank statements, they'll also carry out a full credit search. And as part of the mortgage application process, they will also carry out a valuation, because the bank wants to be confident that the house is worth what you have paid for it. Now, if you are organising an independent survey, then it might be worth arranging that once your mortgage has been approved, to make sure that your application has been successful, and then arrange any independent surveys that you see necessary. Now, if the lender's happy with all of the information that you provide and they're happy with the value of the property, then they will produce what's called a mortgage offer. And this is an exciting step because it means that they have accepted you as an applicant. And a mortgage offer will usually stay valid for about 6 months. So that will mean that you need to complete within that time scale. Now, step 8 would be to submit any insurance applications. So usually when people are about to become a homeowner, if they're not already, then alongside buying your property and arranging your mortgage, most people will consider various different insurances to avoid them being in a situation where they're in financial difficulty because there has been a change in circumstances. Now, buildings cover, you will need to arrange this as a condition of your mortgage, and this will need to usually be shown to the solicitor prior to you completing. But most people will also consider things like life insurance, critical illness cover and income protection to again avoid a situation where they cannot keep up with the mortgage repayments if their circumstances change. Now, the reason that it's crucial that this is done alongside the mortgage application is because with health insurance, quite often the insurance company will write to your doctor for more information. And if the insurer that you are applying to does decide to do that, that process can sometimes take weeks or even months. And obviously the last thing you want to do is be in a position where you're moving into a property and you're not insured. So that's why this step should be carried out really quite soon on in the process. Step 9 is to commence solicitor searches. So your solicitor, certainly if you're using a mortgage, searches will be mandatory. If you're a cash buyer, then optional. But ultimately, searches are what your solicitor will carry out to do due diligence checks on the exterior of the property to make sure that there is nothing directly or even indirectly that might affect the property. And of course, your solicitor will be responsible for transferring the title of the property into your name, as well as other checks. Now, if you're buying new build or if you're in a rush to complete on the purchase, then you can commence this step sooner, and that's okay. But as I mentioned earlier in the video, we generally advise getting your mortgage approved first. Now, searches can typically take a few weeks, but it does depend on the local authority of which you are purchasing the property within. And as well, the solicitor only has a certain element of control on how long this step takes, because they are waiting for information from quite a few third parties before they can conclude this step. So that's just worth mentioning. Step 10, you will exchange contracts. So this means that once your solicitor is happy with all of the legalities, you'll exchange contracts, which ultimately means that from this point forward, you are legally liable to purchase this property. So this is the point usually where you would transfer your deposit, pay any stamp duty if you have to pay stamp duty, and usually any insurances that you've arranged should commence from this date. Step 11 is completion. So arguably the most exciting stage of the whole process, because completion means that all of your stress is over, you can collect the house keys and you can move into your property. Now this day, the date of when you complete on the property, can be the same as exchange of contracts, but sometimes depending on what you negotiate with the seller of the property, completion can come a few days or even a few weeks after you exchange contracts. So it really does depend, but ultimately completion is where you can now enjoy the comforts of your new property and relax because the process is over. So I hope that video has been useful for you. If it has, then remember that we are here to help you. We are mortgage and insurance advisors, so head over to dm.mortgage and book a free of charge appointment so that we can help you on your house buying journey. And also check out first time buyer free courses that you can book onto in the events section. Of course, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you're new here and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any future property, mortgage or finance related video uploads from me and the team. But until next time, I'll see you soon.